week on Storyboard, it is Amitabh Bachchan featuring in two prominent campaigns breaking this week. One campaign is for Dr. Fixit, highlighting the importance of waterproofing in a humorous way, and the other one features him celebrating Tata Sky's 10 years in India. And how is Mullen Lowlintas attempting to fill the void created by Balki's exit from the agency? We find out in today's show. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. This is Shibani Gharat. Dr. Fixit, a Pidilite brand that helps with waterproofing problems, has unveiled a new campaign that aims to reinforce waterproofing as an important preventive measure during construction of a home. But the campaign does this in a very poetic and humorous way. It features Amitabh Bachchan, who's narrating the story of household leakages using satire. Storyboard editor Anant Rangaswamy caught up with Bharat Puri, managing director at Pidilite Industries, and Piyush Pandey, executive chairman and creative director for Ogilvy Mather India and South Asia, and spoke to them about this new campaign and about the importance of waterproofing in a country like India.
Bharat, tell us, for Dr. Fixit, why such a big campaign?
Very simple, Anant. Here is a category where our task as leaders is to get people aware about waterproofing. 8 out of 10 people in India have a waterproofing problem, probably to address it correctly. Therefore, the whole objective here is two things. One is get people aware about waterproofing. B, when they think of waterproofing, they think of the expert, they think of the leader, they think of Dr. Fixit.
Piyush, you went to your Mr. Fixit for Dr. Fixit, in the sense whenever you want somebody to talk to the camera, you go to Mr. Bachchan. So, is that a coincidence or what is it?
No, I think it was a collective decision, and we thought about it and said if a statement has to be made, and I think we were very, very clear that we are not going to ride on Mr. Bachchan.
Right.
We are going to ride on the idea, and if Mr. Bachchan is the Krishna of that chariot, then we would be on a very good wicket.
Right. So now, compared to all previous Dr. Fixit campaigns, this is really high decibel. Either of you take the answer. Suddenly you're going to make noise in the marketplace, I hope. You hope, I'm sure. So what do you expect out of this campaign in the marketplace?
Again, very simple. I mean, as a pioneer, Pidilite's role is to expand the market. In the retail space, we are the leaders in waterproofing. We want to expand the market. If we have to expand the market, then you need somebody relevant, persuasive, credible, telling a good message, and I think we've done that.
And somebody who a couple of years back told me that he had a huge problem, so I sent the guys from Dr. Fixit about 3 years back to fix his house.
Now tell me, what we are seeing now is the TV bit. How does this roll out further in terms of the whole marketing mix, not just advertising?
Actually, the role of TV is actually to get people aware. Call, visit a dealer, visit a contractor. We've got a whole, therefore, fulfillment mechanism around basically educating, holding hands and getting people to complete the task of waterproofing. So you have lots of work happening on digital. You will obviously have support at, you'll see a lot of work at the outlets itself. So as to, I have a waterproofing problem. Hey, I never knew that I need to address it before, when I'm building my home. When I go to buy my cement, there is help available there. There is a telephone call where they will hold my hand through the whole process. There's a skilled waterproofer whom they will recommend to me. The waterproofer will come to my house and actually, make sure it's done. So it's about fulfillment. It's not just about, hey, here's the campaign which is spreading information.
So now basically your marketing for Dr. Fixit will run through the year. It's not about just during the monsoons and when my
absolutely. I mean, you build a home all through the year. If you have a problem with waterproofing, when you're building a new home, you want people to be aware that, listen, it's 2% of the cost of your home, but if you want the other 98% to be well spent money, then you better spend this 2%. And on repairs, listen, a lot of times when you're renovating, when you're repairing, you forget that, listen, if you don't address the root cause, which is water, you're going to have a problem again. And therefore, it's, to my mind, it's a year-long thing and not just the monsoon.
Piyush, tell us about the creative route.
I think creative route is all salute to my brother Prasoon and to the team at Pidilite. My team had done a lot of work, and with a long-standing relationship with Pidilite, where sometimes he rejects my scripts also. He just sat and said, listen, if we have Mr. Bachchan, then we must do something even better.
So you had Mr. Bachchan first?
Yeah, we had Mr. Bachchan first.
Right.
And
we
then
had a different script.
Right.
See, he's being modest. See, Pidilite has a great advantage. On our communication, we have 3 owners. You know, we have the Pidilite team, and then we have the 2 Pandey brothers.
Right.
You know, actually, I don't need any approving authority this thing, because both of them set such a high bar. I must tell you, we've approved 3 ads in the last 6 months. All 3 have been approved within about 30 seconds.
Right.
Because these guys set the bar, they argue, they get it right. When it comes to us, our job is much, much simpler.
Right. So
and this one in particular, he said, I think I can do better. So he sat and wrote the scripts himself, and then he bounced it off me. Yes, we work as a team, but due credit should be given that he said that I'll make it even more interesting. So this is what I've written, and then he shared it with us, and we all said, "It's rocking."
So Bharat, tell me a year from now, how do you measure ROI on this campaign?
Very simple. We're going to obviously track, hey, number of guys who are aware of waterproofing when they're building a new home or repairing a home. Number of those who actually inquired. I mean, I have, you know, we've got data on guys calling us, guys going to our websites, guys actually calling up our field offices. So whole set of parameters, very simple. Are you now far more aware of waterproofing, and are you doing something about it?
Right. Piyush, Mr. Bachchan, Hindi belt rather than South. How do you react to that? What about the South?
I think if you go down south up to Bangalore, Hyderabad, he's fantastic. And what we have done is that we got somebody who writes films in South Indian languages to come and write the dub for him.
Right.
And did a great job. I don't think we found it important enough to try and get an actor for the South at this point in time.
Right. Okay. And
I think the important thing was
visually
we don't transliterate, but we capture the spirit of the commercials, and
that's
therefore
the
we
whole
write
point
them.
in the South.
And in the South, actually, we've got therefore South Indian guys who are completely familiar with the milieu.
so it's
the
not
tone.
a transliteration.
No,
right?
absolutely.
No.
It's the idiom and the context.
And therefore also, if I even look at the master film, it is so visual that language is only a help,
Right.
and to add flavor and to make it interesting. But if you look at it visually, everything is happening, so it's very easy to understand.
Right. And unusually for an Ogilvy film, a lot of footage on pack shots. You know, Mr. Bachchan holding the pack shots staring at you. Huh?
Have you seen anyone who's called his own brand Combust Dr. Fixit? So,
Absolutely.
So you got to show it because you don't want to take it to people's cognizance, but you say it in a fashion which is a very Pidilite fashion.
Right.
Underplay yourself. We've shown earlier in Fevicol and all, half packs, no packs, broken packs, all kinds of
logo.
things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Bharat, your first line of attack is your own marketing team. When do they see it, and what do you expect them to do?
So we showed it to the whole. Actually, I always believe that the best guys to show you this thing is your own team, especially your sales team. So we had about 80 sales guys over last week, and I must tell you, we showed them the commercial 4 times. Before it completed, any of the 4 times they were on their chairs, like, you know, whistling and shouting. So we just showed it to some dealers yesterday, very similar reactions. So now we're all quite excited.
Piyush, in your case, how would you measure success of this campaign, or lack of success?
At end of the day, it will be measured by how much we sell.
Right.
But right now, it's how much I hear in my barber shop, in the bars that I go to, in the friend circles I move in, and the kind of response, the quality of responses. I'm really never a guy who worries too much about 10 million or 15 million hits or whatever. But the quality of those comments will give us the sense of confidence that what we are getting onto is the right thing. My gut feel says that we are on the right thing.
Right. You know, both of you, it's surprising in a country like India, waterproofing as a category is so underplayed and so small. It's ridiculous. All of us have grown up in houses where something on the other leaks. Your house did a few years ago. So why is the gap there?
See, it's fascinating when you work with consumers. It's almost taken for granted. A lot of consumers are still surprised by the fact that a solution exists for waterproofing. It's almost that, listen, this is, common, this is part of our living.
You have to live with it.
The fact that you are addressing it, and, there are now modern waterproofing techniques available which actually guarantee that you will not have waterproofing. That's the big change taking place.
And what will that happen? What will happen to the market? So do you think the market is far smaller than it should be and or could be?
Right now, for example, building a new home, pretty much 1 out of 10 people actually address waterproofing correctly. So the size of the runway and therefore the size of the potential market is a massive market. Even in repairs, 1 out of 5 actually address waterproofing. Most people think that, listen, if I've done a paint job, I've done the cover-up, 2 years later they're back to square one.
Anyway, I hope you're right, and I hope you expand the market. All the best to both of you, especially to you. It's your bottom line and your results that you have to deliver.
It's always our bottom line.
Correct.
This fellow owns it as much as I do, but thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
With rains in most parts of India, there couldn't have been a better time than this for the campaign. It is now time for us to take a short break. When we return, we have another campaign featuring Mr. Bachchan, and this time round, he's celebrating 10 years of DTH service provider, Tata Sky.